Hi, welcome back to the Ladylorians show. This week you have me, and only me. I'm the only one here. This is now the Kenzie show. Thank you. No, just kidding. You have
Sorry,
Kenzie.
guys.
Oh yeah, Dodge is here. She's okay, I guess.
I deserve that. It's fine. You talk. You talk. I'll just absorb what you're thinking right now.
Seriously, I'm here. Dodge is here. Ruthie will be here in just a few minutes. And we're gonna talk about just some stuff, new things that have come out recently with Star Wars merch and behind the scenes stuff for the shows. And mainly Bad Batch since that started coming out this past week or so. So and we're big fans. We really like it. So we're super excited to talk about that in a little bit. But first, this just happened today, right? This just came out
this
right?
morning.
Yeah.
Which is Monday.
So yeah,
reference.
Monday the 10th. So today, surprise, I don't think there was any warning on this being dropped. They released Rey's lightsaber at Disney. And I believe it was only available in Galaxy's Edge at Disney.
I don't know.
World, because I think I saw somebody saying they weren't selling it in the shop that's in they weren't selling it yet in the shop that's
in the outpost.
Trading outpost yet.
Interesting.
So I think it was only being sold in Galaxy's Edge, and I think they probably sold out for the day pretty quickly, but I'm not 100% sure. But this was really surprised. No one was expecting this to drop. Obviously we got the Leia saber, the Leia and the Reforged Skywalker saber combo on May 4th, which was a pretty big deal.
Yeah. What's your opinion on that?
So I kind of feel the same way about the Leia saber that I do the Luke saber, and that I don't really love how it looks when it has the blade in, because they have to change the emitter. Obviously, it's they have to do that for the way Disney uses their lightsabers or does their lightsabers. They have to do that so the blade works and everything. I know there are some companies online who sell sabers that have that skinny part on the emitter that still works right, but obviously they use different technology than Disney does. So it's not my favorite. I just don't like how it looks. I think it makes it look really cheap, in my opinion.
I agree.
And so I didn't really like how they did that for Luke's saber to begin with. And my thing with the Leia saber is I feel the same way about the emitter, and I also just think it looks really orange.
I agree. I loved the rose pink thing, and so I don't know, but it's certain lightings, because sometimes you're okay, that's pretty accurate, and then it's not. So I don't know how I feel about that.
I was at Galaxy's Edge on May 4th, and I saw somebody with a Leia saber, and I saw a couple people with the Leia saber, and I was like, oh, that's really orange. I don't like it. And then I saw a couple people that did have Leia sabers that were a little more pink toned, and I don't know if it was the lighting or maybe they just had a different Leia saber from an online seller, and that's why it looked more accurate, because obviously I wasn't going up to them and where did you get that? I was just okay, that's obviously a Leia saber. And it looks a little better in this lighting, but again, I couldn't tell if it was lighting or a completely different saber. Because Leia's saber is one of my favorite sabers ever, because obviously I love the color pink, and I just think it's so beautiful and works so well with it being Leia's saber, and it has tributes Luke's saber, and they're twins, and so them having similar looking sabers is really cool. And obviously just having Jedi Leia anything is really cool, because we didn't know about that for so long.
True.
So I love her saber. I just wish that it looked a little more accurate to what we saw in the movies.
I agree.
Again, obviously real life technology versus what they can make in a movie is 100% different
and cheap, because Disney their sabers, although they're trying to make them accurate, they're also trying to make them cheap. So they're if you want a real looking one, probably not Disney.
Oh my
To
gosh.
be honest.
Wait, we need to talk about the announcement from May 4th about the super cool lightsaber that's
Yes.
coming out next year.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so that's another thing that happened on May 4th, which was last week. So, like, I know that's probably old news to you guys, but we haven't talked about this yet. So, on May 4th, they had the video with the like girl, and she turned on the lightsaber, and it like ignited, and it looked like a real lightsaber. And they said that like more details would be coming out about this for the Star Wars like Galactic Cruiser hotel that's opening next year. Which, like, first of all, the fact it's still opening next year, like, that's
Crazy.
I was expecting them to push that back. Like, I was expecting it to not open until like 2023, 2024, because obviously COVID delayed a lot of stuff. So I'm like, dang, Disney must have every freaking construction crew in the city of Orlando working there trying to get that thing done by next year, because that's like literally a year away. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I wonder, so are they having, I wonder, well, I don't even think they said, but they said that they're going to have the lightsabers ready for the opening for that. But is there going to be like a special store, or is that just like they're both coming out at the same time?
I'm wondering if like at the beginning, like their test run kind of will be like you essentially like rent it for like your stay at the hotel. Like, I'm wondering if that's what they're doing, because
I don't know with COVID though.
but it's gonna be 20, like,
Yeah, but yeah, that's true.
by then we'll see what they're doing, because obviously, like, we all want this to be over.
Yeah.
Not to talk about COVID, but like things are going to hopefully we'll have a lot of people, vaccines, herd immunity, that kind of stuff. So hopefully we can have as close to normal theme park experiences back by then, if not 100% back to normal, which I would love. I love theme parks. I grew up in them. If you don't know, I work in one. So I mean, I would love to like have just like a million people all being together again. Gross, but like there is like a feeling of like when you're all like watching the fireworks, like those are things like I miss as much as like I don't miss being super sweaty in a crowd of a million people. Like, I do miss like the feeling of everybody watching the fireworks together.
They're kind of
that
like
kind of
escaping as a group.
Yeah.
Type thing.
So hopefully by the time the hotel like experience, I know like it's gonna be super unique. They talked about it a bit already with like it'll be like a 3-day stay, and pretty much your whole like you're really not going to the parks. Like, the whole point of staying at that hotel is like to have like a completely immersive experience for like 3 days or something. So I am wondering if like the lightsaber is going to be like incorporated into that experience. Like, that's why it's coming out with the hotel. And then like after they kind of test run it, I guess, with the hotel experience. Hi guys, Ruthie's here. Ruthie, we're currently talking about the announcement they made with the super cool like lightsaber thing that they announced on May 4th.
Oh yeah, the patent. That's so cool.
Kenzie was talking about how they might have them like part of the hotel experience.
Like the Galactic Star Cruiser, like that might be like the first step of it, is like that's part of your experience, is like essentially like renting one like during your stay or something. I'm not really quite sure, but
are they supposed to be like legacy sabers where they look like normal sabers? Because I thought it was supposed to just be like updating the technology type thing, so it's gonna be the same thing, but maybe, I don't know.
I feel like to purchase one of those would be super expensive.
Yeah, they haven't given a lot of details on like what exactly it is. Like, they just posted the super cool video and we're like, more details to come closer to the hotel. But I feel like it's gonna be kind of one of those things where like you know how when you're like at Disney and like there's like a Kylo helmet that's like $50 and then like the $700 one on the shelf, and like you can buy the $50 one, and if you're bougie you can buy the $700 one. I feel like that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be like, yeah, here you can get this one for $200 or like $100, or you can get the really fancy one for $1,000. Like,
yeah. I'm worried about that too. The mechanism is really cool, and like I've been trying to figure out how exactly they made it look like that, because like on the patent, like the mechanism and the way it's described is it's like a slap bracelet. you know, the way like slap bracelets or like measuring tape unfolds. Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
how it
I
works, but
remember
it's
seeing
strips of like LED light. It's kind of like those NeoPixel sabers, like that kind of light. But like what? Like what's going on? Like
I
how does it
wonder-
Jokes
if that's
on
the mechanism, like how does it look rounded at the top? And it's
jokes
so smooth.
jokes on everybody. We're just going back to like the old school Hasbro ones.
Yes, I had one of those growing up. I had Luke's green one, and that's still my favorite lightsaber. So
Bruh,
nothing has changed.
back in the day before Galaxy's Edge, when they used to sell them inside Star Tours. I don't know if they did at Disney World, and you can like make them.
I'm pretty sure they still do that. I think. Well, I mean, obviously
Yeah,
not.
you can still build them after Star Tours and Walt Disney World.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
I'm
know
not
about
sure if it's
Disneyland.
I'm not sure if it's like still like completely open or how they're functioning it since COVID, but I know that like the stations were there last time I was
When I
in
was
there.
there in February, they were having people build them like right
So,
after Star Tours. Like that's still a thing where you can make like the plastic ones.
unpopular opinion, Star Tours makes me feel like I'm gonna yak, so I don't really go on there nor in their store very often, but
That's fair.
I love Star Tours, but I have family members that are that same way. So
and I don't get motion sickness. Like I'm not really like a motion sickness type of girl, but Star Tours.
that thing
For
you got
me,
Rick
like
Rolled, baby.
for me, Smuggler's Run is
Oh
more
yeah,
like that makes me more motion sick, so to say, than
I think it
Star
depends on who
Tours
your
does.
pilot is.
that's true. And also you're like doing things on Smuggler Run, so it feels like you're
Mhm.
actually more in control, maybe. Maybe that's why.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
need I need to get on
But
that ride with some more skilled pilots.
Oh,
but we do have to talk about Ray Skywalker's saber that just came out.
Oh yes, they look so cool.
That
I
was
literally like minutes ago I just saw like the first picture of it that I've seen on Twitter. But like I love the detailing on the hilt that like looks like cloth or whatever.
Mhm.
Like that's so cool and so very Jakku. It's so
Yeah.
hard.
It looks like when I first saw pictures of it, it did look a little chunky and I was a little scared, I'm not gonna lie. But then I saw someone hold it and I was like, that looks pretty nice. They also could have had huge hands. So I don't really know right now. I'm hoping
yeah.
to see it in person.
That is like one of the things with the Disney sabers that I've noticed is that a lot of them are quite hefty.
Oh yeah.
My Ben Solo one is literally gigantic. And so are the Kylo ones. Like I don't have the Kylo one yet. But it is quite large, and that's kind of like part of the reason it's like hindered me from buying it, just because I'm like, do I really need just like another hilt to just like display? I mean, not that I, like, not that like I use my lightsabers that much, but like at least my Ahsoka ones, like the Ahsoka Clone Wars ones, are pretty like decent size. Like I found that like holding them is like fine. The Ahsoka, the Rebels ones that they had for a while, I think those are discontinued now though. Those ones are giant, like humongous. So it's just like weird. I don't really know what determines like the sizing on them.
I don't understand what makes them work. I just don't understand how Disney's ones are so big, but then you go to a different site or whatever, and they're so small. And I'm like, how does what's with the technology? I just don't understand that stuff. So I just kind of vibe with it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've tried carrying like my lightsaber through the parks on both the belt clip and with the bag, and the bag is the way to go. Because
Definitely.
man, they get heavy on that belt clip, and
Mhm.
like especially if you're not wearing, like you know, as a girl, if you're not wearing pants that have belt loops, like basically jeans, or a jean skirt, and you're just trying to put it over a dress or skirt or yoga pants and find something to clip it to, like it
Yeah.
like I tried just like clipping mine to like yoga pants or something.
Yeah.
And it was like it was like making my pants fall down. It was like not good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was also something on the Ray Saber. It doesn't have a part for the belt thing.
Are you
know?
sure?
Yeah. If you I watched the video. Well, okay, so I watched the video and you know there's like parts at the bottom that like are kind of I don't really know how to describe it, but one of them pokes out and it's like
Oh,
it's just supposed to hang on your pant. so you don't have to buy the belt clip separately, which I
Well,
thought
that makes sense because Miss Ray is thrifty, you know?
Well, because they have different ones. So like for my Ahsoka ones, like I do have to buy separate belt clips, and I haven't yet because I just don't want to, whatever. Although like I kind of want to buy them because like I feel like it would look cool with the Ahsoka ones since I have both. But like it has like this, and this is like the traditional converter clip for the belt. But it's just like a circle thing, and then it like slides in.
Yeah.
But for my Ben Solo one, because it's built different, it doesn't have like it literally is. I would go get it, but I'm lazy and I don't want to get up. It has like a little metal like sliver piece thingy, and then like it came with its own like belt clip. It came with the extra belt clip because it's different than the other ones, which is part of the reason it was like I think it was like $20 more expensive, like the saber itself, than like other like single hilts. Like I think it was like $149 versus like $139 or something. I don't really remember. But it did have like its own belt clip that was like specifically like it's metal, and like I would never use it because the Ben Solo one is so heavy. Like I would never wear it like on my pants because my pants would be falling down all day long.
That would not be good.
No. So I would never really bring my Ben Solo one to like the parks though. Like I got that one because like he's my favorite character. Like the Ahsoka ones, like yeah, those ones like I want to take to the parks and take pictures with and whatever, but
They look so cool.
they're so
cool. My only thing with the bag, the case or whatever that like you wear over your shoulder is that like at least for me, like comparatively, like I'm really petite, but like it gives me like this big wingspan. And I'm worried about like turning in the parks and whacking somebody.
That was also something when I went earlier. I was carrying. I didn't have a bag, so I was carrying around my lightsaber everywhere and going on rides with the lightsaber. Not fun.
It's not the move.
I mean, when we were there, like we just had them in the backpack. We just had them sticking straight up out of the backpack
when we were walking around. But then when you go on a ride, you have to like go past them, put it by the person who like you
only on Rip Ride.
Yeah.
Every other ride you can bring them on.
That alone, like if you were somebody who wanted to carry a saber in the parks, like in Galaxy's Edge, that would be worth the $700 retractable one.
Yeah. For real.
Carry the hilt and put it in a backpack, put it in a lounge fly. You're like good to go.
That's probably why Disney even considered it. They were like, no, we have too much wingspan going on over here, so we got to get the retractable sabers.
Yeah, bro. And I mean, there's some people who are getting them for their little children, and well, not even little children. There are grown men and women who are reckless with their lightsabers.
Bro, I cannot.
Just like my dad, bless his heart, like he has no sense of personal space or like he like, you know what I mean, like that sounded weird. He just like he doesn't have any like spatial awareness. That's what I was trying to say. Spatial awareness. So like if my dad was walking around Disney World like carrying a lightsaber, he would take like 4 kids out by accident. Like, love you, Dad.
It was definitely
there's some people that don't need to be carrying those things around.
Yeah, it was definitely a struggle because I think I was carrying mine, Izzy's, and Kenzie's.
Oh my god,
my backpack. No, I wanted to carry them because I had the backpack.
I'm just saying it's a lot. Like I'm not like wow, they're so mean. Oh my god, dodge the henchmen.
Just the blades, just the blades.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't wearing the right backpack for it.
See, like the day I bought mine, like I took it out of the case or whatever. Well, I got a legacy one, so I took it out of the case to like take pictures with it and stuff in Galaxy's Edge. But then it was nice because I could put the hilt back in the case, and like I had a big Disney bag for the blade part. But yeah, after that, it was like.
I don't like the saber bags, like the skin. Like I don't like carrying them around. I honestly
they're not practical, and it sucks. Like if you want to just carry like,
and then
I'm so excited to have a retractable lightsaber because it's like I wasn't even thinking. You know, obviously your blade and your hilt are 2 separate parts. So like when you carry, you know, say you're carrying your hilt on the belt clip. And then you just have to hold your blade in your hand and walk around, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look cool.
Yeah, I've seen like some people like come up with like ways to carry their, like I saw this girl who like she ordered like a chain off of Amazon and she like put like a essentially like hair ties on both ends of the chains and like put it like the hair tie, like wrap the hair tie around the top and the end of the blade, and so like she carried it like around her, kind of like the blade bag, but instead of like the bag it was just like a chain and the blade. And she was like and like obviously she could have also put the blade, like the hilt on and carried it like that too, and she was like but it just like looks a little cuter, I guess, because you have like a little metal chain and like whatever. So I was like, oh, that's like cool. And I've seen people who like when they're wearing their backpacks, they'll just like stick the blade through like the straps on the back of the backpack.
Yeah, I mean, like the bag doesn't look like anything that would exist in canon.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you don't even need me to say it. In canon, you're not going to be walking around with your lightsaber ignited. If it was inside of something and ignited, that would not work. Hello, it would like cut through whatever it was in. And it's like otherwise, you know, you just retract the blade and carry the hilt. So yeah, I mean, I have a bag. I don't think it was my most brilliant purchase ever.
You gotta do what you gotta do, you know.
The Arabesh is cool on it because it like an Arabesh on the bags, it says like wielder of the force or something, or force wielder, which is like, that's cool. I like that theming going on. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like, you know, Galaxy's Edge is meant to be this like super immersive world and stuff with really like legitimate looking stuff, and to be carrying a ignited lightsaber in a bag. Never really thought of it that way, but it's like, what's going
like,
on here?
It's one thing when like you're just going to like go to Galaxy's Edge or whatever, but like because I'm local, like I go to the parks and like I want to go do other things and like Izzy and I went on May 4th, but we went to Epcot first, and I was like, well, I'm not bringing my sabers because like we're going to Epcot, and we were already planning on taking the Skyliner over to Hollywood Studios. And so I was like, well, I'm not going to like carry my lightsabers through Epcot and then get on like do all like, no, I was like, it's not happening.
The retractable lightsabers go in places because you can just put that in your bag or you can carry it on your belt. You can figure something out.
Saving now.
And you don't have to
start saving now.
Every day we're one step closer to real lightsabers, so I can just start Youngling Slayer 3000ing children.
I was gonna ask you, how was May 4th at Galaxy's Edge?
It was good. It was. I wish we had stayed for. There was a lightsaber meetup that night. Ashley Eckstein was there.
What?
But however, as I stated, I'm local and I'm not built for all day park days anymore. It's just I'm not built for it. So we got there at like noon. I was ready to go home by 4 p.m. I was like,
oh my God,
sweaty. I want to leave. I got my picture.
Really hot, though.
It was the hottest day that we've had so far all year. It was 90 something degrees. So it was the hottest day of the year so far in Florida. Of course. Of course it was. So it's just very hot and not very like pleasant. We got on Smuggler's Run, which was fun. However, they are seating parties together on Smuggler's Run now. So if you're like in a party of two, if you're a party of one or two, you're going to end up being engineers and you're not going to be the pilots because they're going to always stick you in the back with a larger party.
Yeah, so I don't want little Timmy to be my pilot either. Like,
yeah.
So it was not like, I mean, I don't mind. Like I've ridden Smuggler's Run like a million times. So
but
like
still, it's fun.
It doesn't really bother me anymore. If I'm just like engineer. But especially because they have they do have like clear like dividers up because of COVID. So like there's clear dividers in between the seats. It's just like not a great experience, I would say right now. But I mean, it was a lot of fun and like the energy was good. Like obviously like a lot of people, I mean, there was still like a lot of, I don't know, like normal people, but a lot of people who were just there for their vacation.
Locals. Not locals as in sort of like locals.
Yeah.
The vibe.
But there was a lot of people there like in super like like in costumes or like in full
Oh my
Jedi
God.
robes.
Sounding even.
Yeah. No, I mean there was people there in full like Rey costumes and I was like, I don't think that's allowed, but I'm not
And
gonna
Rey of all people, I mean, it would even be one thing if there were people like dressing up as Leia or Padme because they don't have a presence in the park. But
Ray walks through the park and it's just everyone, it's like the meme, the Spider-Man meme where it's
yeah,
like
that's right. Double Rey action.
all the
Yeah.
kids are like, what is going on?
So it was pretty cool though, because I mean obviously like they like love it and you love it and you're like, "Ugh," like wow.
Mhm.
Although like I wasn't really wearing like a lot of Star Wars merch because again it was like 90 something million degrees outside. So
Yeah.
I was literally wearing a tank top and shorts because I was like, no. But I was wearing my Grogu backpack. So like, you know, and I have a Star Wars tattoo on my back. So like
It all
it
came
was
together.
it was pretty visible that I'm a Star Wars fan, but I mean Izzy was in like a full Ahsoka outfit.
Her
So
outfit, so good. Her shoes.
She
yeah.
looks so cute. Okay, were they doing like anything to acknowledge the fact it was May the 4th, or were they serving anything different? I really didn't get to see what was going on.
Yeah, so a lot of places had like special like little things. There was some specialty alcoholic beverages at some of the carts. I wouldn't know. I'm 20, so I can't drink. But I do know they were there. They had churros. I spent $7.19
Oh, the lightsaber
on a
churro.
lightsaber churro because I have problems. And I just needed it. They had like a Darth Maul cake at one of the stores. So it was a little Darth Maul cake. Izzy got that. She said it was good. And so they had like a couple different food offerings like that, like little snacks and cute little things. They had like a specialty popcorn mix. They
Oh.
did have an entire like merch store open for May the 4th. However, you did have to join a virtual line to get in there.
Yeah.
And we didn't make the cut.
Oh.
So
No.
but they had a lot of like special May the 4th stuff in there, I guess. They did release obviously a bunch of new merch, way too much for us to even cover in one episode.
Yeah.
Yo, the new Starbucks mugs.
I was gonna say, so I have the entire May 4th collection of Starbucks mugs from last year, and they did release a new collection this year. 3 more mugs. It was Batu, Tatooine,
I want the Tatooine one.
and
Of
then
course.
what was the last one?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I wasn't super fond of them. I'm gonna be honest. I
Luke's nose looks a little funky on the Tatooine one. Like the art style is a little bit odd.
I liked the ones last year better, in my opinion.
I have the Bespin one just because it's pink and purple.
Yeah, so I liked the colors better because it was like light blue, pink and purple, and green.
The green.
And so I liked that like color scheme better. This one was like red and blue and like a darker green. But they're still really cool. I love those Starbucks mugs. I think they're really great. They are like a really good size and they're stackable, so they're really like convenient to have in your cabinets. I just like couldn't justify getting 3 more.
Yeah.
Because I have a mug obsession.
Me
and
too.
my cabinet is full. So I've like made it a rule that like if I want a new one, I have to get rid of another one. And I'm not emotionally in a place where I can do that right now. So
They came out with an indoor one.
yes, okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, those were there. We saw those, and they had some other new merch. But it was just like nice to be there. Obviously it was like very crowded.
It wasn't or it was?
It was pretty crowded because park reservations were sold out for that day. And then at 2 p.m. you can start park hopping. And that's what we did. We had Epcot reservations and we park hopped over to Hollywood Studios. And there was a line of people waiting to park hop at 2 p.m. So
Dang.
They're out of the Tatooine mug.
they might restock it. I remember they
Yeah, because
restocked.
they restocked the ones from last year. Because I didn't get my Bespin one till like September.
Yeah, I would assume they'll probably restock again this year. So, because I had major issues with getting mine last year. And again, they did have a lightsaber meetup. It was pretty cool. I saw a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Ashley Eckstein did go and she signed a bunch of Ahsoka sabers, I think.
So cool.
So that's really cool. I am very jealous of the people who got them. wish it was me. We tried to go in to see the sabers. Like we wanted to go in to see the Leia saber. And once again, they were like, yeah, no, we cut the line off for that because it's about 5 hours long right now.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And
Yeah.
we were like, okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
So, but I mean, overall, it was a really good experience. And it's really just like nice to be around other people who like feel that way about Star Wars and like makes me very excited for like when conventions come back and like you can truly be around like a lot of people like that. Like, because again, at Disney, like, of course, like there was people who were just there for their normal vacations or whatever. Like, whereas like when you're at a convention, like everyone's there for the same reason.
Yeah, and everyone's a big nerd, so it's just kind of like you fit in really well.
Yeah.
I've never been to a convention before, but I want to go so badly. Like, all I do is hear about them because, like, my boyfriend and his family have been going since he was really little to Star Wars Celebration. Like, I think they went to the first one as a family, and then it kind of became as, like, a family tradition, like, every 2 years.
We have to go.
So,
We have to all do a Ladylorian
Ladylorian
Star Wars
meetup.
celebration.
Oh, let's have a
Kenzie,
Ladylorians
fly out.
panel.
Come on.
Yeah, I think we should have a panel. I think we deserve it. Somebody get them on the phone right now.
Hello. We're really
Ladylorians.
Hello, I run a very successful podcast. I deserve to be.
We don't deserve a we should be moderators on individual because I feel like we could.
That's fair.
Level.
Okay.
I've never been to a
good enough to be on
convention.
the panel, but we're good enough to ask questions.
I got the convention feel a couple days ago because here in Los Angeles, I went to this bar. I am under 21, so I got a really swaggy mocktail, and I was only allowed in from the hours of between 6 and 8 p.m. Anyway, it's called Scum and Villainy Cantina. It's not licensed or anything, but it's like it's a geek bar, they call it, and it's like totally decked out like something right out of Galaxy's Edge. It kind of looks like Oga's like in certain spots, and like all the drinks and everything and all the dishes are all like named after like different things from Star Wars. It's really fun, and everybody who was in there was living their best life, and it's really cool in there because like they give you an app and you can like control like their playlist. Like they have a master like playlist, kind of like a jukebox, but then you can like upvote and downvote songs. So they have like a bunch of like, you know, songs from like movies. Like they have like the Terminator theme and like stuff like that, like not your typical stuff. And then they had a bunch of like Star Wars like lo-fi. There was somebody who played like the Pokemon theme song a couple times, and I played some song from The Witcher because I really like that show.
Good show.
But it was really fun. So shout out to them. If the 300 of you who are subscribed to this are in Los Angeles County at any point in time, check out Scum and Villainy Cantina in West Hollywood because it's fun and they're very nice and the food is good and the price is right.
It's cheaper than buying a ticket to Disney World or Disney.
Yes, it's like it's a little slice of Galaxy's Edge in an urban jungle.
That's all it's about. But we should talk about Bad Batch.
We should. We got 2 episodes of Bad Batch in a week, which we did not know was happening. At least I did not know was happening.
Yeah,
I was just like, we just like woke up Friday morning and like my boyfriend was like,
I'm sorry to inform you that was common knowledge that was gonna happen.
I didn't know. Nobody in my household.
I forgot.
I was pleasantly surprised. So
I just forgot that May the 4th, like I knew the drop schedule was Fridays. However, I did in fact forget that May the 4th was like on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So by the time like Friday happened, I was like, it hasn't been a week.
Yeah, it's been like 3 days. What's going on?
I did not know that. Well, I knew like the Mando drop schedule and the WandaVision drop schedule.
Yeah,
and like those were all Fridays.
Yeah,
but like I wasn't sure if that was gonna be every single series or if they were gonna switch it up at all. So I really did not know, and so sorry, I was pleasantly surprised.
No, it's fine.
I don't know if they announced it. that
They
it was
did this. It
okay.
was, but it wasn't like a big like. It was like talked about a while ago because I remember having this conversation like on Twitter or something where people were talking about like, oh, we're gonna get like it's gonna come out on May the 4th, and then they'll do it again on Friday, and then it will be like weekly from there on. But like it was just one of those things where it wasn't like a lot of people were talking about it. It was just like kind of like
Yeah.
because Disney.
I've been out of the loop.
Well, I think Disney Plus also like releases like a list every month of like their releases.
Oh yeah, they do.
So
Okay.
people probably knew from that. But again, like
Okay.
it's not like they were like advertising. They weren't like, oh, two out like they weren't. So it's like I just kind of figured because again, I knew it was coming out on Fridays. So it wasn't like I was surprised by the Friday drop. It was more so that in my brain, like May the 4th was just like a Friday.
Yeah.
Days don't count anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, Bad
So,
Batch.
Bad Batch. It was 40 minutes.
The first episode was it like an hour?
Yeah, the first one was like an hour and a half.
It was like
hour and a
almost a movie.
half.
It was an hour and 16 or something, like an hour and 15, like somewhere around that. And then the second episode was 30, right?
It's 30.
Yeah.
But the pilot was like an hour and 15.
It was like a movie.
Yeah.
It was long.
It was good.
I liked it. It was really
I'm glad.
good.
I liked it. I'm glad it was an hour long because honestly, like I felt like we got such like a good like foundation and like introduction into like I mean, obviously like we did meet the Bad Batch in Clone Wars season 7. But honestly, like I'm gonna be honest that like I don't remember a ton from that arc. Like I honestly need to rewatch it. But so it was like good to like have this again, like kind of reintroduction to them and just like start off with a really solid foundation for the rest of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I was confident that like my parents who have never seen any of Clone Wars like on their own, only like over my brother and I's shoulder, like I felt that they could have watched the pilot and understood what was going on and been totally in it. And yeah.
I felt like that's how I felt too because I feel like I watched the Bad Batch arc like relatively recently, a couple months ago, but you know, Anakin was in it, Rex was in it, all those characters were in it, so they weren't really my focus. Yeah, I liked them, but we didn't really get to see too much of them. So I really liked the pilot because I feel like we saw so much of them that it was like, oh, I really like these guys. It was kind of more of like a second chance to like really get to know them really well, if that makes sense. Not that I didn't like them in the first one, it was just kind of like seeing more of their personality more, which I loved.
They remind me of like a boy band, like because they each have like their like distinctive look,
known
and the fact that there's 4 of them like really like cemented that idea in my head, because like also like in the 1960s like the Beatles had a Saturday morning cartoon, and so they like took like each of the Beatles and like really like blew up some of their personality traits and made a caricature out of each one. And that's kind of what it reminds me of, because they're all so different from each other but like work so well together. And
yeah
I'm also kind of getting like some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle vibes.
Don't even get me started about the Ninja Turtles.
Hey, Michael,
love those guys. Love those guys. But they do remind me of them.
You know what I mean? Like it's just,
they all have something that they're known for.
Guy group dynamic, you know, because we're so used to our trios in Star Wars, you know, with each trilogy. And then even in Clone Wars, we have, you know, arguably the trio of Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, or Anakin, Ahsoka, Rex, you know, like
and I feel like
and then so finally this is like a different group dynamic for us, and you know we're seeing all one gender and stuff, and it's different, it's fun.
Don't sit over there silently judging me for tweeting off the Ladylorians account while we're filming.
Yeah, you're fine.
I got that notification.
I was answering our fans.
It's okay. I responded to Ruthie's Instagram post like 4 minutes ago. So.
Yeah, I just like, I don't know. I love that they all are so like, I just feel like their personalities are shown really well. Like they're just like very well developed for like it being so like we've only had 2 episodes, and I feel like we have a pretty like solid idea of like all of their personalities, which I really like, because I mean, obviously, like the Bad Batch is like very different than other clones. That's like their whole point is that they're very different. But like, I mean, obviously, like in Clone Wars with like all the clones we met there, like it took a while to get like a sense of feeling for like what Rex's personality was, like who, like. So it's very nice to like feel like already 2 episodes in and you're like, oh my gosh, like I love this one so much and like everything, because you feel like, okay, like they have so much personality. Again, that's like part of the whole reason that they are the Bad Batch, is because they're quite literally built different.
And I think it's also easy to like feel so connected to them right off the bat, because we've already seen them kind of get bullied and pushed around, you know, by like other like,
oh my
We see
gosh,
that in the
yeah.
episode, too.
whatever, you know what I mean? Like they're like the outcast, you know, they're the underdog. So right away we can identify with them and we want to root for them in that way, because you know we see that other people treat them differently because you know their differences.
I love that. Like honestly, because I like didn't really get the impression from like when we saw them in Clone Wars, and again, like I don't remember that arc that incredibly, but like I kind of like got the impression before that they were like the top dogs, right? Like because they were like different and like really like whatever, and then like you see the show and they're like getting made fun of and they're like, haha, you're different. And I was like, oh,
You know what? They're jealous because all of their mutations and stuff make them more apt and more skilled at one thing or another. And so, you know, these clones, they be hating. They,
Because it was so
hate them because they ain't them.
exactly. And like even in the beginning of the episode when Caleb, not even gonna talk about the voice, but when he comes around, he's like,
God, the
I got backup, and we're all like, let's go, all this stuff. And
well,
then
you guys know, you guys,
yes.
neither of you
I
guys
know.
know that. Yeah, you know that's Kanan, right? From
Yeah.
Rebels. Okay.
Yes.
I was like,
I didn't realize it.
Like he looks like he's like 11, and then this deep man voice came out, and that was like the first thing I noticed. And then then you listen to like Omega talk, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Omega."
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay.
I didn't realize it at first until he talked, and I was like, there's a reason why his voice is deep. And I was like, oh, that's why.
the second they said Caleb, I was like,
You're like, wait a minute.
and then I was like, okay, like that has to be Kanan. Which people have opinions about that, I guess. I'm not super into like background stuff like outside of the TV shows and everything. So I'm not fully sure of like what Caleb's like original like backstory, like 100%. Like I know what it is, like got what we got told in Rebels, but I guess he had one, and this like kind of shifted what that was established to be.
I need to learn more.
Well, I remember, the only reason why I know this is because of TikTok edits, and it was really emotional. But there's a part in Rebels where I don't know anything about Rebels, so I'm not even gonna try to pretend.
That's fine. You're
But
right.
this the bad guy, whoever it is, I don't know if it's Ron in the audio, but it could be.
Oh,
but they like they were like, I bet you remember the last words your master told you. And then they flashes to the Bad Batch, like, and it was like, oh, it's so emotional because she's like, run, Caleb, run. So I know that was going on, and I was like, I mean, that wasn't really too emotional, but I'm also like heartless, and I was like, oh, she's dying. That's
Yeah, I know it was like a little different in whatever they had established before, and so some people are not too pleased because Star Wars lately has had this habit of like just kind of backpedaling on stuff that like of course like we know like Legends is Legends and that's not canon anymore, but then like you have this new Disney era, and then they've kind of been backpedaling on some stuff they've established since the Disney era, and it's like,
what is canon, what's not canon.
So I can understand the frustration. Again, like I'm not super into like excess material. Like I don't read a lot of the books or comics or anything. I wish I would. I wish I was dedicated enough. Maybe one day, I will be.
Got people for that, so that's all that matters.
But I do understand like the frustrations that people are feeling about that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I love Omega. She's so cute.
She's
Love
so
her.
cute.
Yeah.
When she, speaking of the Bad Batch, like getting like bullied in the cafeteria, when she like freaking stood up
Queen.
for them,
Queen.
I was like, go off, go
Bro,
off. It's just
I-
so sweet.
I wonder if she probably sees them that way because she herself has a mutation, and so like
Well,
she was like, look at how successful they are. They are who I want to be.
I mean, like, you have to think about it. Like, I mean, obviously, like, they're exploring this in the show, kind of, but just in terms of like, I mean, obviously, like, all of us like have gone through like not feeling like we don't fit in places or whatever. But like, literally, could you like imagine being like, she's the only person that is like her there because everyone else is a clone or a Kaminoan, and she's like this like mutated clone little girl, whatever. And so like no one else is like her there, and
no one else
so,
was raised like her either.
yeah.
Like, they didn't put the little like, what? How did wait, clones being raised? It's like, okay, we start off in the test tube, but then once they get to a certain age, they start like educating them and stuff. Like, don't they?
Yeah, the like the headset things.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I didn't know what that's called. I wasn't sure.
I don't know what it's called either. It looks like
I'm guessing that she didn't.
they look like VR things.
Yeah,
they
VR
not?
headset. It's an
They're
Oculus.
prepping them for war. It's VR war. Hey, you gotta start them young, baby. You know what I mean?
Rocking with VR war.
Yeah.
It is called Star Wars.
That is true. That is. but love that. I love that she's the one that threw the food first. Queen.
I'm like, what a
She's a
little
girl boss.
attribute.
She's a girl boss.
Really is.
You heard it here first. Omega is a girl boss. Also, every time I say her name, I just want to say it like one of the girls from
I don't know how to say it.
Omega.
Clear.
He says it with the accent.
Clear.
Clear.
Clear. That's clear.
I thought of freaking, what is that, H2O?
Whoa.
I thought about that when she started talking. I was like, crossover? Let's go.
Girl, where's your tail?
Omega.
What if that's her mutation?
She's a mermaid.
What I want to know, and I think everybody also wants to know, is like, is her mutation the fact that she's female? Because we've never seen female clones.
Can you imagine?
Well,
People are saying it's mimicking. She's able to mimic really well. Like photographic memory.
I like don't know. Like,
Yeah, that's what I also think. I'm like, I don't really. She does.
I don't know if that's
but
like a
also
good
she's
enough thing to
So
be.
she's Olive from Ant Farm?
Wait a minute. What?
But she's from New Zealand. She's from Space New Zealand.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, this episode is
Now you got me thinking of Olive from Ant Farm.
Listen, I think this
there
is the
no
most.
substance.
Guys, this is the most on track we've been on an episode in
long
a
time.
while.
Thank God for Star Wars content. The Lord came down and gave us Omega.
Omega.
Cute. She's a girl boss.
Girl boss.
I love
But-
her. Imagine not loving Omega.
Honestly, I'm so thankful there isn't like discourse. I haven't seen any discourse, and I'm so happy about it because I was a little nervous about that.
Wow, I haven't either, but I also don't go on Twitter, so
I don't
will-
either.
My one
Believe
thing
it or not.
is like, and I love this trope, so I'm not mad about it, but it is, at least in these first two episodes, I'm drawing some similarities to Mando because we have the big, tough, cold guy who then gets attached to a child and softens up. Like, I'm surprised that
wonder
we
why I
have
like it.
two shows like that going on at the same time. Like,
That's what I think something's gonna happen. I
yeah.
But
There's-
also, I'll be real honest. I love the father-daughter relationship.
No, I'm a sucker
I
for it. I was
love
just
that. So
surprised.
the fact that that's, but people are like, he's like the uncle. I think it's more father-daughter. People are like, no. I think it's father-daughter, and I
think
love that
it's
relationship.
sibling. I think it's like older
Really?
sibling.
Okay.
Because like they're all like,
Really the same thing, to be honest.
well, like if they're all like, if she's just like another clone, like or whatever, like they're all very similar. Like, and again, like it was her finding like this group of people who like are also different. Like she's different. So I mean, obviously we'll see like more of the relationship develop, but like, I
And I mean, like, Mando's very different because Din's whole goal was to connect Grogu to a Jedi. So as soon as he met him, pretty early on, he knew that he was going to have to leave him.
Yeah,
At least for now.
that's
You
true.
know, but like Omega's whole thing is that she literally wants to be in the action. She wants to be a part of the group. Like she's in it to win it. She's in it for the long run. So, I mean, it is different in that way. Also, Omega is significantly, mentally older than Grogu.
Something.
So I mean, there are plenty of differences for it not to be like, wow, they're just doing the same thing. But I thought it was funny to see that trope being repeated.
I don't know. I just think Disney saw, they were like, listen, we know Mandalorian's doing really good, so we gotta freaking put a child in that Bad Batch episode. You know what I'm saying? So they put in a little girl, just put a little spice in it. I just had a realization, and I know we're past this already, but you know how people are like, people think her thing is mimicking? I don't think so, because in the second episode, remember when she was playing catch with the other, and she watched them play catch, so why didn't she just automatically know it? She didn't know how to play. Because she wasn't able to play catch with them. I don't think it's a mimicking issue.
Yeah, I think she was just like copying Hunter because she looked up to him. Because also, like, having a photographic memory and stuff, like, that's
a thing.
That's not what that's about. Like, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm watching Hunter now, not Omega. Like, okay, maybe she's a really quick learner. Oh, hey, that could actually, like, I don't know how much of a.
And also, is it really that hard to?
She picked up catch really fast. Like once she was taught how to play, like she picked it up right away.
Yeah,
she was able to watch and pick up things just by watching really quickly. So maybe girl, I don't know. Like maybe
I don't know.
The girl, but I feel like that would be a very complex mutation to have.
Yeah.
Like if there was no programming in place for that, then how would that just happen?
What's Hunter's mutation?
He said it. He said in the episode. It's like sensories. He's like an advanced sensory.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Sense things, leadership, something like that.
He's my fave, so
Yeah.
I love how I'm like, he's my fave. Don't know what his mutation is.
Best, love him.
My favorite is Tech.
Love Tech.
I really like Tech because in my mind I will be like, Wrecker, shut up, and then Tech will be like, Wrecker, shut up, and I'm like, yeah. No, I'm kidding.
I like Tech. He's like not like, I mean, like I don't dislike any of them. He's not like my fave. Like I think his personality is like funny. Like he definitely.
I like how blunt he is.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like he's so like. Well, at least at this point, I think there will be moments where we see it come through. But he's so like void of emotion that he's just like when he's really blunt with people and just like forward, it's like there's something about it that's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Like Omega could lose like 3 of her limbs and Tech would be like,
at
least the last one. Like thank you.
Well,
I don't know what the problem is.
I liked how he was pretty much just like at the end. I mean, this is like skipping ahead to like whatever when they're talking about the chips and everything, but he's like, well, like how else did you think they were programmed?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then did you guys think that Omega was a clone before he said that? Because I did. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that we were on the same track here. I just assumed she was.
The blonde hair threw me off, and just the fact that she's female, because like as a mutation, that seems like something really big.
Well, do we know if it's
a whole other chromosome?
Yeah, that's like another thing is like other people were saying that maybe she's not a clone of Django, she's a clone of somebody else. But I feel like she is a Django clone because of like how fast she picked up like the blaster and everything.
And her
facial features are very similar, and she has brown eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like,
We don't know.
I think like I'm wondering if like her like mutation is obviously like her being like a girl, but also like it has to I feel like her mutation has to be something that would like help out with the fact that like what she was like a medical assistant or something. Wasn't that like the whole point of that's what she was? So I feel like that's like her mutation has to do with that, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know. We haven't had any hints of that other than like she worked in the medical thing. But also I feel like that was also like she needed something to do until she was like fully grown up. Some people think she's Phasma. I don't think so.
what if her
I
thing
hate
is
that.
like she's like really good at problem solving?
Phasma already has a background story. People don't need to mess with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited that I really like it. I was a little nervous, not gonna lie. That like not that I wasn't gonna like it, but I thought that I wasn't gonna be as entertained as it is because it's funny. It's like, it's entertaining, it's serious, it has a good story. I'm excited to learn more about Omega. I love all of the characters. Literally all the characters, which is really rare for me.
I'm so glad they threw in that little part with the clone. I say little, like it wasn't like half the episode. With the clone. What's his name?
Oh, Sue's the wife.
Sue and
It's literally the name of the episode. Give me a second.
yeah, well,
I loved that. I was so excited.
I was so glad to see them again.
Wait, no, I saw Guerrera.
No.
No, the clone and his Twi'lek wife.
Oh,
We've seen them before.
In the second episode. What is his name?
Yeah.
cut.
Oh,
It's cut.
Cut. Oh my god, literally.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. To see Cut and Sue because they were obviously like in Clone Wars.
They were so
And-
domestic and cute, and Sue is she's a girl boss. She is such a good mom. Like,
And I love how they were teaching Hunter, like, you have a child.
oh
Like,
my god. That whole like part too where he was like he wanted like Omega to go with them and stuff. Like I just like feel like I was like, oh, like that is because like I mean obviously like it's one of those things where like if you're responsible enough to like say that you can't handle it, then like that's like part of becoming responsible enough to handle it. Like
Yeah.
Oh, that was a really good way of putting that. Yeah.
It was literally just right out of the Mandalorian because that's exactly what he did in chapter 4 when he was like to also Omega and Omera, one syllable is the difference. So I was like
one letter.
one letter. One. And anyways, but when Grogu
The Ladylorians will find any way to bring
to bring up
every episode. No doubt there is one of three things that will be in every episode. It's either Omega, Yaddle, or Padme didn't die.
wait, do you mean Omera?
Omera,
and Padme?
not Omega.
Oh,
Omega,
yeah.
we'll probably put Omega in all of them too. Let's just add her to the
Yeah, even when Bad Batch is like irrelevant for a while.
like Omega comes into the Mandalorian. She could.
So stinking cute. I love her.
She's adorable, and I'm super excited to learn more about her. Cause like it's just so like exciting. Like obviously like the Bad Batch is like related to what we've had in the past, and like we are gonna see like Rex and other characters. I'm sure that we know. Like I mean, obviously we saw Saw Gerrera and like other characters. And I'm sure we'll see more.
We saw Guerrera.
That was good. That was good.
Here till
but-
Thursday.
It's fun and like to have like I mean obviously again we met Bad Batch during Clone Wars, but still they're relatively
It's
new
fun.
and like
Yeah.
just to have like fresh characters to like get to like meet and like know their stories is really nice, and I'm super excited to like not know where the story's going.
Yeah. In any franchise, I love like being introduced to a character or a group of characters on a surface level, and then something coming out after the fact where we get to explore them more.
Like
Mhm.
that's why I'm so excited for the book of Boba Fett. Because I mean everybody, I mean, even when he just like appeared in, Empire Strikes Back for seconds at a time, everybody was like, wow, he's so cool. And there were action figures of him immediately when we knew nothing about him. And we still, yes, we have comics now. We do have some good background on him and stuff. But, at least in the cinematic universe, we've hardly seen anything of him. And so we really get to learn where he's been. And like, so yeah, not to go off track there, but I'm excited for that for the same reason. Cause it's like, it's cool to be introduced to interesting characters and then, really get to explore
Dive
them and
into
stuff
them,
later
yeah.
on.
I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie, because we do have Fennec coming in, we do have Rex coming in, but it's a lot of episodes.
Oh my gosh,
So,
yeah. I
also
forgot about
could
Fennec
potentially
coming.
have Ahsoka too. So, because Ahsoka is with Rex.
She's
Last time we saw her,
she's
she was with Rex.
that's true.
And we
But
heard that Rex went to cut.
we
So
do
she might
know,
be with him still.
but they didn't say anything about Ahsoka.
Yeah, but still, they could do a little. Everyone loves Ahsoka. She could be
But
dazzled.
we do know they split up at some point. So maybe this will explain how Rex and Ahsoka split up.
That's true. Yes, Ruthie.
Thanks. I was just gonna like, I've been wanting to say this the whole time. I knew I had something to say and I couldn't think of it. But like, it's just been so cool to see the transitional period from, the Republic to the Empire, like rising. Just to get to see that on screen and have visuals like related to it and, really see what civilian life was like during that transition. Like, I think it would just, for me, it's gonna make the experience of watching the original trilogy, it's gonna make the stakes a lot higher. Because, like, we really don't get to see a lot in the original trilogy about how the Imperial rule affects average people, your average everyday people, and how communities changed and, like, things like that. And, like, the guy at the end of episode 2 of Bad Batch that was trying to get on that one ship. He had to travel somewhere for work and like he didn't have identification or something and he couldn't go and those like clone troopers like pushed him to the ground and stuff. Like, okay, I'm already starting to like, build empathy and stuff for people that are suffering this change and that don't want to see it happen because, there wasn't a lot of like
We don't know
canon
a lot.
established and there wasn't like a lot of concrete like, plot and stuff in the original trilogy as to like why is the Empire so bad? Why do we hate them so much? Like obviously, we see the big consequences of the Empire, but we don't see like
It's like
how they make everyday life harder and different for people.
and it's
We don't get to see what wartime is like for your average person really.
and
not
the
a lot.
the whole idea that everyone thinks the war's over. Like everyone thinks that like it's good
girl.
and stuff. And so so many people are probably like so confused. They're like, this is good, right? Like we don't know the Empire, but we just assume the Empire is like the good guys. Like
yeah, I mean this time of like celebration is so quickly gonna turn into like a time of fear for these people. But it's just gonna make me like when I go back and watch the original movies, like it's just
mean a lot.
I'm gonna be rooting for Luke and Leia and Han so much more because we get to see how the Empire and how the oncoming war, just affected everyday people. Also, so many people have said this already and are hoping to see it, but I hope that we get to see clone troopers make the transition to stormtroopers on screen and get to see some animated.
Which I'm sure that we will.
That would be
that's kind of a big deal. This is also just snippet it. I like that we know how the chain codes work or how they were distributed because I always had a question about that because I'm a little confused. I always thought that it was like a chip or something inside them, but it makes sense that they were assigned chain codes, which is crazy.
Like Social Security,
Social Security. Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, so like how do they get their chain codes? Like when you
social insecurity.
do you like go to someone like we're seeing it here, but what if like
I know
after the Empire when you're born, how do you get your chain code? I'm just
Chain Codes R Us.
Yeah, it's probably a website. Yeah.
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 It's just
It's
like
on the-
Babies R Us, Toys R Us, and Chains Code R Us.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's just on their space tablet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You buy it on like Amazon.
Yeah.
One more thing about Bad Batch, also the animation compared to especially early Clone Wars. Wow, we've come a long way, animation department.
I'm so glad though that it's like animated in like that same like style of Clone Wars. Because I have nothing against Rebels. It's not my fave.
They're so smooth.
My one thing is I do really like how lightsabers are animated in Rebels because they're so skinny.
Yes.
um,
They're so skinny.
I just think
holding
they
the
look
saber was like, what?
but I am more fond of the Clone Wars like animation style, so I'm glad that is what Bad Batch went with. I mean, it's kind of an obvious choice considering like it's essentially a continuation of Clone Wars, but I like it a lot and it feels very like authentic to that kind of story.
There are some exterior shots of ships like in space that literally look like they could be ripped out of Mando, you know? Like they look like they are almost good enough to be a part of a live action series or film.
Yeah. This is great. I'm excited. We have next time you guys see us, we'll have another 2 episodes. Or we'll have another episode. Because it will come out on a Friday. So we'll have
we have an
we'll have 2 episodes.
We have an overdue anniversary episode in the works.
That's awesome.
Because a couple weeks ago was the anniversary, not of our podcast, but of our friend group.
By the time we get all of us together again, it will be our 1-year anniversary of podcast.
Probably, yeah, October sounds about right.
Life is crazy.
We're some busy gals, but you know, we're trying to do our best and push stuff out for you guys, and we really appreciate those of you that are sticking around to watch and listen. And if you enjoyed this, be sure to leave us a like, leave us a comment. Every little interaction really helps us go a long way. So we see everything, we check all the time. It gives us so much joy to see you guys enjoying our stuff and, you know, hanging out with us. So
for every comment this video gets, I will post one screenshot of Dodge from Snapchat.
I don't know about
I have a lot of ominous pictures of Dodge standing in like the corner of the room. So
I have
Dodge standing
levitating.
You want me?
Kenzie comment like 7 times.
I make 8 burner accounts.
Comment if you want to see me levitating.
It's okay. I'll throw in some ones of the rest of us, but
Also-
Dodge has the best self-timer pics I've ever seen.
Oh yeah. And if you guys see some random account called Tech Loves You and somebody's pretending to be Tech and is giving Star Wars fans uplifting messages about their everyday lives, it's probably me. It's not actually Tech. And follow it.
You gotta make it before someone does it.
I know.
Well, you have till Thursday before your idea's out to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is a ticking. Just make it and post once.
Yeah, I need to get on fake mail generator and make a fake email to make an account.
Do it. Do it.
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. What was
Me?
that?
Me, that was my voice. I was opening last week's video off the link tree to see how we were doing.
Not good. So anyways, remember to write a review on Apple Podcasts. Also,
Please.
we haven't had a review in a long time, and if you leave a review, I will marry you.
If every time you leave a review, you give the Ladylorians the fuel to get to the end of the week.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are so nice, and the little paragraphs and stuff are so nice. And if you want to leave one, we really appreciate it.
Okay. Listen.
Okay.
We're not gonna.
We hope you guys had a wonderful May the 4th. We hope you're enjoying the Bad Batch. We are. And
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
We'll see you next time. Till then, may the
Bye.
be good little boys and girls and friends.
Yes. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.